Rawr. Hello, everybody. How you doing? How you doing, Burn? Getting a lot later start than I wanted to. Well, I wasn't really planning on streaming until like the last minute anyway, but... And then I went downstairs to tell Mom, okay, I'm gonna stream, you need anything? And she's like, oh yeah, I gotta bring up this and that and the other, and she had to, like, change the decorative flag on the front of the house and get all these, she's in a decorating mood today. She's got all the Halloween stuff, and well, it's not much Halloween stuff, but still, it's kind of a pain. All the fall stuff, I guess. These decorations, they just seem pretty pointless to me, but makes her happy, I guess. Okay, so SU-33, that is this, right? Yeah. We're hooked up. Okay. Ah, you're working on Tower Unite? Nice. I tell you, that does look pretty awesome what you're doing with that world. I had no clue what that game was until you showed it to me. I just figured it was another one of these tower defense games that just have the word tower in them. But it's completely different. Okay. We are running the DE6, aka the Big Diesel. Because as opposed to the last time I played through and waited until the last certificate to buy that, I bought it earlier this time. The only thing in this yard is another DE6 and a shunter, so no steam engine yet. I want to switch back to the steamer, but not yet. Quite relaxing. Yeah, it seems like it could be, yeah. It's kind of like just an open world type thing. Is this set up? Yes, it is. Now that I've broken up into 2 sets of 6 cars, that I brought these from Machine Factory, 2 sets of 6 cars, but this engine is pretty overkill for it. But I'm not going to bother swapping out to the shunter just for this couple of little switch jobs. Next thing we're going to do after these couple of little unload jobs is we're going to put together some kind of massive train going to harbor, I think. Because that's where I'll probably find the steam engine again. And we'll probably do some passenger trains, maybe. I don't know. Well, I tell you, this versus the steam engine, this is a heck of a lot easier to run. You just forward back. There's no firebox to deal with, but I guess that's what I like about the steam engine, though. Not only is, steam is just cool overall, but I like the engine that makes you work more. This is pretty mindless sometimes. It's pretty hard to slip the wheels in this engine, too. I might even double head big diesels if we have enough. I think we'll have enough rail jobs going down to harbor, and it's a pretty steep climb out of here, so I double head. Hope it's worth it though, because these big diesels, boy, they suck down the fuel. So you can just see by the throttle how much you have to crank it up just to get it moving. They're very powerful, but they're also really like to drink diesel. No webcam again because it's kind of right on the edge. I almost feel like turning the air conditioner on, but it would be ridiculous because it's so cool outside. It's cool, it's rainy. I think it kind of stopped raining, but it's cool. And next door on the other side of the house, I just set up the furnace and made sure that was running, and it's turned on, and the thermostat's only set at 66, so it's probably not going to run at all, but I set it up. But this is the time of year when the weather's crazy enough and the way this house is, or you might need the heat downstairs and the air conditioning upstairs. Oh, that's a horrible thought, but just for like a month is where it's that wacky. Hopefully not, but I'm definitely not turning on the webcam because then I'd have to have 2 big bright lights on, and then it would be even hotter. Being slow here. I just noticed the mom messaged me, so one moment. Want a free, I think, loft bed and desk for back room. Oh, how am I going to set up the trains if we're turning it into a real bedroom? Alright, sorry about that. I hope she doesn't tell John about that. Apparently a free loft bed that I guess has storage underneath and a desk, computer desk of some sort. He's gonna want to put it in that back bedroom, and then I'll never be able to set my trains up again. I swear I was like a week away from setting up my trains. Or at least putting the boxes in the room. Before he's like, oh, my son needs a place to live. And of course he was here for like 3 days, his son. He went and spent $200 some odd for a bed. And who knows what else. Just for his son to be there for 3 days and leave. Oh, been playing Minecraft too much. I keep hitting B to open my inventory. That's not a thing in Derail Valley. B teleports me. Oh, I didn't check where my cars are going. 5, of course. Of freaking course. Hold on. Why is she talking again? Put a check mark back and forth. And I vacuum. Downstairs, yes. Nine, 7, 8 goes to 3. These two go to... Yeah, these two go to B8. A5. Okay, we'll go to A5 with everything first. Julian's quest. Run, run. As fast as you can. Ride the turtle. Nobody's gonna know what the hell I'm talking about, but that's okay. I think this was probably Mike's last LP. Oh boy. I kind of figured you would. I'll find out eventually. This must be Dark Souls, yeah. So that's 5. Oh, 3 cars. God damn it. Trying to work too fast. If we 3 drop-offs with 6 cars, so it's gonna be 2, 4, 6. No, of course not. So 308. I'm not getting the speedy bonus on this. 308, 988, and 728. 988, 728. Yes, okay. Just needs to go back a little bit more. Now this car on the end, a 978, this goes to A3. So I'll leave the other 2 that go up to B here on this track, I guess. It's annoying however you look at it. I didn't really let it air up much. Kind of precarious, but whatever. Of course, there's only enough room for 1 car, and I gotta shove back the other ones. Whatever. Just empties. make up the time. I think we're doing pretty good though. I didn't set my watch though. That's what time it really is, 5:30. Two, 598. Yes, they go to B8. Okay. So I guess I figured this week I was thinking about it, or this past week, whatever you want to say, that even if it's going to be a shorter stream, a little bit later than I want to start, I'm going to make myself stream. I gotta stream more often. I had myself up to like maybe 7 or 8 viewers sometimes, and then I stopped streaming as much, and now it's probably a couple, which I'm very, very happy for the regulars that I have. But if I stream more, I can get more, hopefully. I gotta get the damn wheels set up, that's the thing. I haven't done that in a while. I've been too busy playing Minecraft or watching other streams, which is a bad habit to get in. And my sleep schedule's been off. I only woke up at like 3:30, something like that this afternoon. So that doesn't help. I think the other set is probably all going to go on this track because there's barely anything here. There really isn't much of anything here. Okay. Hey, we still did it in plenty of time. Good, and I thought I was going too slow. And now just the other set, which is going to be 9 minutes, so the whole string is going to go in one spot. Probably this 8S. It's not much on this track. Oh, I should have shown off the other skins that I made. I kind of showed them off once, I think, but this is the OW skin I made. But more recently, I made 2 different New Haven skins. Let's show off the New Haven a bit more. New Haven striped. Now this is based off of I did not set up number manager. I don't really know how to set up the numbers so that they look right and they're not cut off and in their right position and stuff. It's complicated. And then there's the number boards up there too. But this is based off of a New Haven Railroad U-boat GEU-50. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I always just call them U-boats. But it's pretty close. This is their more modern paint scheme before they went out of business. Well, let's face it, New Haven was out of business for a long time before they begged to be part of the Penn Central merger. Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm going this way. And they were probably the main reason why Penn Central died so quickly. Because New Haven was in a really huge amount of debt. I mean, by that time, New York Central and Pennsylvania Railroad were also in pretty bad shape, but yeah. New Haven was the worst, I think. Because New Haven's philosophy for a long time was just keep on buying up more railroads, more railroads, you know. Stay afloat by buying up more railroads, and it didn't really work too good for them. Even my local railroad that I'm always obsessed with, O&W, was taken over by, well, not quite taken over. They had controlling interest of the O&W. New Haven did since like the 20s, I want to say. Somewhere's around there. They never went out and changed O&W to New Haven Railroad, thankfully. But they had controlling interest. It was probably one of the reasons why O&W so quickly just went straight to being abandoned, you know, because New Haven had controlling interest, and New Haven was like, well, we got enough of our own trouble, so this whole nonsense railroad that goes nowhere through the mountains, yeah, screw it, just sell it off for $1 million or something. That's what they did. They just canned it. I think the government had a pretty big role in it too, because there were different efforts to try to save the railroad, and the government wanted the right-of-way of the railroad to build their new highway system on. So yeah, you ain't gonna really be able to take on the government too easily. What am I doing? Is this aired up? I didn't start the job yet. That'd be kind of important. Doing things like just... I guess we'll skin this O&W for now. It would make sense, because it's what I just described, that the New Haven actually owned a controlling interest of the O&W. So would the O&W have lasted longer if New Haven wasn't controlling it? Probably not, but you never know. Okay, 9 minutes. And something I should ask earlier, is the volume okay? Oh, I watched back some of my streams lately, just a little bit on my archive channel, and I noticed I think my microphone is a bit too loud. If anybody's there. Volume is fine? Okay. Maybe it's not that bad then. I thought it seemed a bit too loud. It's hard to tell because, you know, the engine's throttling up and down. The music is a different volume from one song to the next, but if it seems fine, I won't touch it. That song just goes into dead space for some reason. Yeah, it is. Yep. Especially this big diesel. Big diesel's louder. I think this is louder than the steam engine even. That's without having the door open. Just because I can. Yeah, I don't know what this music is, but it's nice. Land of the Blue Skies. Railroad again? I don't know. Old steel. Looking at the media player now. Hi there, Sturchy. Trails of cold steel ice. Oh, I don't know. It's nice though. Yeah. I didn't know either. I did announce it though, but you know, I only announce it like right before I start, which is a bad habit. I gotta try to plan things out a little bit better, but you know, sleep schedule doesn't help with that. Okay, no big deal. Just putzing around in Derail Valley. Actually, after this little job, I'm just gonna park this all where? B8, yeah, I figured. Then we're gonna put together a bunch of rails jobs to go to the harbor with, because that's pretty much the only thing coming out of here. Finally playing around with the big diesel though. Usually I never touch the big diesel because I like the steam engine too much, but this time I figured I'd play around with the big diesel. Actually, last few times I played this and wasn't streaming, I was playing with the big diesel too. Now I want to get down to the harbor and hopefully be able to switch back over to steam though. This big diesel's nice, but it's a little boring. As opposed to the steam engine where, you know, you gotta keep up the fire and everything else. Look at this visibility, it's just too damn good. I can't wait for the new switching engine to come out. The new, it's gonna be another steam engine eventually. Tank engine. It's not gonna be until, I think, February? I think what I'm gonna do, since I started so late, when it comes time for dinner, I'm just gonna put up the BRB screen, and you're just gonna have to wait for me to eat. Won't take too long. Usually I like to end at dinner time, but I started so late. Time to waste 10,000. Okay. Oops. Oh. I never knew how to do the poll thing, so... I think was the poll thing with Stream Elements, or was it, Twitch? I don't even know. I know you can do it, but I don't remember how you did it. So I don't know if I ever knew how you did it. I might have left the handbrake on. I don't care. His engine's powerful enough to not care about that. If I did, it was just one. I don't know, it's moving pretty smooth. Maybe I didn't. I am... close. Those 9-minute time limits are tricky. We did it. Of course, it wasn't worth squat 3,000 with the time book. Oh, what are you gonna do? It was the train that I brought in, so I felt it was important to unload it. Okay, let's put together a monster train. Because there's another DE6, so I can double head them. Which technically would give me enough power to do 2,400 tons. But we're going up a huge hill to get out of here, to going this way out of here to the harbor. There's a long hill. Then once you get up the hill, then it's all downhill all the way down. So I think would probably be good for, like, double heading. Probably, like, I think on flat territory, one DE6 can do either 1,200 or 1,400. I think 1,400. But with that hill, oof. Find a way to clip your hard truck to LP. Why do you want to clip it? Is it too long? Yeah. It's been so long since I've done, like, recordings and clips and stuff like that. Oh. I think you can do that on YouTube. You can trim off the end half. Something like that. 513. Yeah, right on YouTube. I think you can. Go into the Studio Manager. It's called Trim, maybe? Edit Length, something like that. If all you want to do is cut off... If you want to cut off something in the middle, no. But if all you want to do is cut off either the beginning or the end, then yeah, you can do that on YouTube. 800, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That makes 1,300 already. Oh boy, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's call it 1,900 tons. What do you guys think? Should we try 1,900 tons to the harbor? I'm gonna try it. Why not? Gotta do something mildly exciting for the stream. All steel rails. Unit freight, I guess you'd call it. Unit train, isn't that what they call it nowadays when they have one train where it's all the same freight on it? That's what Norfolk Southern CSX loves to do. They don't like dealing with mixed freight. They don't like dealing with the customers. They don't like dealing with little local stuff. That's why short lines are getting so popular again now. Because the big railroads just don't feel like it's worth it. Which is just hilarious to me, but whatever. The railroad's job is to move freight, right? So, 88, yes. 61, yes. 88, 61, 91. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, first step, grab the caboose, because I want it on this end. Okay. Unless YouTube got rid of the feature. It's like I said, it's been a while since I uploaded stuff to YouTube that I really cared about. Like, well, the only thing I've uploaded to YouTube nowadays is just the VODs from the streams, because Twitch deletes the VODs. And I never have to do any editing with those. I just upload them as they are. But I know when I did make LPs and stuff, yeah, trimming the beginning and the end was pretty easy, but you couldn't really trim out pieces in the middle. Test. The only thing we're not taking is that string. Yes, this is the DE6. Cross message. Yep, I usually never run it, but I decided this time when I was going through the licenses and stuff that I would get this engine. Oh. I don't know. I never do all the fancy chat stuff. Oh, new watch. Oh, nice. I used to try to wear watches a while ago, but I'd watch them. I'd wear them for a couple months, and then I'd just stop wearing them. My favorite was when I had a pocket watch. I had a it was a relatively cheap pocket watch. It was a it's actually a Lionel pocket watch. I don't know what happened to that, actually. And then I had another Lionel watch that was like a regular wristwatch, and it had like different little sounds and stuff on it, I think. And when the battery went, there was like 2 or 3 batteries in the stupid thing. And if I remember correctly, it would have cost almost as much to replace the batteries than to just buy another watch, so I never replaced the batteries. Of course, nowadays, since the watch has probably been discontinued, that ain't the case anymore, but you know, at that time. And now I have no idea where that watch is. I still have the box for it. There's like a little metal case in my drawer in the computer, but where the actual watch is, no idea. Lost in the moves, I would think. Oh no, you cut your finger, don't do that. Gold coated pocket watch knife. Oh, smartwatch. Neat. That's cool. Of course, nowadays I would never wear a watch because I don't go anywhere. Kinda sad, but what are you gonna do? I got 2 clocks in my room, and one of the clock is a clock radio. Ooh. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember what a clock radio was. But, yeah. That was my grandfather's. It still works pretty good. Actually, this year, we got a bunch of 9-volt batteries to back up the clocks. Which is nice, because every once in a while the power just blinks out just for a split second, especially in the morning. It just blinks out just long enough for anything electronic to reset. So then I'd have to fix the clocks, and it's a pain in the ass, so I got the battery backup. Oh, that's cool. Half digital, half analog. Oh, that's neat. Very cool. Don't want that one, right? That's the one that I'm not taking. 91. Oh, I am taking 91. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we'll grab this one first then. There's nothing left in 3 on it. I'll grab that one first. Oh, digital one lights up. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I could see Derail Valley get bored. I'd probably go through a fit where I play it a lot, and then lately I haven't played it much at all because I've been playing Minecraft all the time. But important thing with games is just try to rotate your way through them. I've been getting a lot of work done on my Traincraft world, though. Wasn't really expecting to when I picked it up a few weeks ago, but I streamed it a few times. I need so much gravel and clay, though. My full name and is it in my Steam account? Doesn't it say like Stone Malone or something? Oh, that's not good. Thank you for telling me. Oh, yeah, close enough. Sometimes when I set up... Yeah, sometimes when I set up accounts, I don't realize what I'm doing with that kind of thing. It should just say Red Bear 773. Oh yeah, it does say my name. Well, that's annoying. I don't really care that much, but you know, that is still kind of annoying. I'll play with it later. Location, I definitely don't care. People know, but yeah, that's annoying. Maybe that happened after I set up my once I got a real credit card for it. I don't know. Why is the throttle on? So this is towards the end of the train, and it's 91. Okay, good. Next one. It's gonna be 61. Half. Yeah, this music's pretty good. Half-Life 2. I haven't played it in a while, and I never beat it. I made it like maybe half, 3/4 of the way through. I'm usually not that big on FPS games, but I did have a lot of fun with Half-Life 2 for a while. Oh, nice. I never had Half-Life 1. I got Half-Life 2 sometime when it was really cheap. You know, one of those crazy sales from Valve for pick up Half-Life 2 for like $5. It was probably even less than $5, I think. Only played the beginning. Nice. Of course, I don't have a controller, but I think with Half-Life, you're better off without a controller. I think keyboard is probably the best way to go. I think I tried to play it with my wheel a little bit, but that was really clunky. The thing is, what always kills the chance to try to play something like that with the wheel is, at the end of the day, it's really a mouse type of game. You know, you look around with the mouse. You can't do that with the wheel, so you end up with one hand on the wheel and the other hand on a mouse trying to clunkily fumble your way through, and it's just really annoying. Trucker, that was like $1. If it cost anything at all, it was like $1, and it's not worth anything more than $1. That game is pretty rough. It's old, and it's like a truck racing game, but it's rough. $2. That was free, I think, Arma. I know I didn't pay anything for that because I've never even installed it, let alone play it. Once again, FPS is really not my style, but it must have been free somehow. I grab it. Big rigs. There's probably, by now, there's probably some version of that game that's easy to run. So yeah, just for the hell of it. Oh, you got 2.4 hours in Arma? Cool. Big rigs. Listen. Well, it's not so much as that it sucks, it's the fact that they were maybe only like halfway through making the freaking game when they released it. It's just, you know, the fact that there's no hitboxes and you can just drive through anything and you just fall through the bridges and you go into the light speed if you put the truck in reverse. I mean, it's basically like a developer's demo. It's not really even does it even count as a game yet? It could have been cool. But yeah, that game's pretty horrible. Might be able to fit into the so bad it's... I wouldn't even say so bad it's good. I'd say so bad it's hilarious content. So I'm taking every job of steel rails there is. Okay, cool. Let's slow down. That's a little close. I think I'll put this on the main line and then grab the other string. There's no point in muscling all three strings around. Your PC runs Mode Runner 40 FPS. Say, I ran almost all my games up until like when did I fix up my computer? Now, end of last year. Up until I fixed up the computer, I never even tried to play any games at higher than 30 FPS because I figured, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Of course, it makes a big difference, but I didn't think it made that big of a difference, and my computer couldn't really handle much more than that anyway. What's the meme? The human eye can't see more than 30 FPS or something stupid like that. Yeah. Yeah, you get used to it. Yeah, this is getting heavy. I'm gonna shove this onto the main line, grab the caboose, and then grab the other set. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, that's better than my first computer. My computer was a HP something. I don't know what, if it had like a fancy name or anything. It was just an HP, and it ran on Windows ME, Windows Millennium. And whoo boy, was that rough. That's where I first started playing Hard Truck 2 on, though. With a CRT monitor. Which we still have, by the way, that old CRT monitor. It's next door. I gave it to, well, I swapped it, actually, for my neighbor's flat screen monitor for his really, really old computer, because he didn't care. He only uses that computer, and he doesn't even use it for that anymore. He used it just to go online and like, clock in and out of a website for a job that he was working at the time. That's literally the only thing he uses it for. And then he talks about wanting to like copy his own CDs because he's a musician and stuff like that. And I'm like, believe it or not, that computer is old as dirt and it's very slow. I mean, it's really slow. It's Windows 2000, I think it. When I first plugged it in, the date reverted back to 2000. I was like, holy crap, this is really old. It's running Windows XP, I think. I think it's running Windows XP, which of course is completely outdated now. But I said, as long as you just don't put any personal information on, don't buy anything online on this computer. It is not safe. It is not secure. That, you know, Microsoft stopped supporting it like 5 years ago. But if all you want to do is check out like YouTube videos and copy some CDs over, and what else did he want to do? Oh yeah, he was logging on to that website for his hours, but still he wasn't putting in any like credit card information or anything like that. And I'm like, it can handle that, and it did. But now he's not even using it for that. You know, he was pretty tricky for something that I didn't realize right away. Is I set up the computer for him. Somebody just gave him this computer because it was so old. And the thing that was missing was the main power cord for the tower. And I have a bunch of these extra power cords because whenever you buy like a new power supply or something like that, it comes with one, right? So I gave him a power cord, set it all up for him. And then like a month or two later, I go over to check out to make sure the computer's still working and stuff. And I noticed the power cord's missing. Like, yeah, that's strange. And stupidly enough, I don't know why I didn't put two and two together, but I was like, well, I got another power cord. So I came over and grabbed another power cord, set it up. And then, like, after I knew that he didn't really need the computer anymore, I went over. Just every once in a while, I was there for something else, and I was like, oh, okay, let me turn on this computer and see if it still works just for the hell of it. It's just interesting to see a computer that old still work, you know? So I go over there to turn it on, and guess what? The power cord's missing again. I'm like, okay, now I realize this guy, he's stealing the power cords. Because I don't even think he does it maliciously. It's just, he has a lot of different musical. He's a musician, so he plays an electric keyboard, electric piano, whatever you want to call it, and he's probably got an amplifier that needs a power cord, and they all use the same style power cords. So when he's short on a power cord, he just steals it from the computer, figuring it's my computer anyway. But I didn't realize I was stupidly supplying him with a power cord a couple of times. But I had a bunch of extras anyway. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Train Simulator 12. I've been thinking of that. You know, because I'm starting to finally get a little tired of Minecraft, kind of. Hopefully. I'm trying to wear myself out on Minecraft now because I know you guys don't really care about Minecraft much, but I have been getting a lot of work done. But then another train option would be Train Simulator 12. But the thing is with that game is, yeah, I know I gotta get the wheels set up, but the thing is with that game is I never really played it a whole lot to learn how to drive the trains and stuff. Maybe now that I've played Derail Valley so much, I will. Like, actually, like with Train Simulator 12, there's two different modes that you... Actually, I'm not going to set that. I'll forget about it. But there's two different modes that you can set the controls on. Basically, there's simple and advanced, or expert, whatever you want to call it. An expert means that it's kind of like Derail Valley, where you're with the steam engines, you have to put in the coal and check the water level and all that stuff. But then in easy mode, it's just like running an electric train set. You know, you just get a big dial, it's forward, reverse, it's super simple. And that's all I really ever did as far as driving the trains. I mostly, the only thing I did with that game is I worked on my own map. I actually made it pretty far on my own map. I mean, I could stream that someday just to show it off, I guess. I made it pretty far on the map. I made it... I've been building the OW on it. I kind of lost interest in that game, though. I haven't done anything with it in years. But I made it from Cornwall, New York, up to... how far did I make it? Somewhere between Mamakating, New York, and Summitville. It's just about down to Summitville. Yeah, Trains 12. Oh yeah, I think you tried Trains 12 and it crashed. Yeah. I don't know how much you would like trains simulators, hardcore simulators like that. Well, you might like it. But yeah, I've gotten pretty far in making that map. Mobile version, oh well. But, you know, I kind of lost interest in it. I don't want to be inside the caboose. Where am I going? This is not the right way at all. Somebody's not paying attention to what he's doing. Didn't throw the switch. Yeah, maybe I could try to get into working on that map again. Okay. I made a lot of buildings for Trains 12 in Google SketchUp. That was fun for a while. That's the track. Am I still on the caboose? No, didn't think so. Hey there, Hap Dude, how you doing? Just putting together a monster train. Pretty long train full of rails. In fact, I don't even know if it's going to fit on the center track. I think it will. Gonna double head these big diesels, so guess we got a big hill coming up. And I can't really hit the hill with much speed either, so really gonna need the power. Hope it's worth it. The fuel costs of running two of these big diesels. Let's see, 13,000 plus 9,000 plus 10,000. Yeah, that should be worth it. And then the unloading jobs of unloading them all once we get to the harbor, too. Let me do a final tally. So 798 513, 570. $1,881 tons. Yeah, I know. I gotta get the wheel set up one day. Yes, I gotta get sleep schedule maybe figured out a little bit better first. I don't know. It's just when I do get to streaming, it's so last minute. I'm like, am I gonna bother setting up the wheel now because it takes a while. And then once the wheel's set up, it's kind of there. You can't do much else. Like, you can't play Minecraft the wheel in the way. So it's just kind of annoying. And whenever I take the wheel down, I gotta, like, bury it under the bed over there. Minecraft wheel speedrun. I tried to do Minecraft with the wheel a bit, actually. Like, where you could keybind the buttons on the wheel to do, like, 1 through 9 and stuff like that, and a jump button. But still, at the end of the day, with Minecraft, you have to move around, at least look around with the mouse. You know? So it doesn't matter how much you set up the wheel for, you're still going to be using the mouse most of the time. So the wheel's just one in the way. I was not paying attention how I was blowing the whistle there, but it doesn't matter. Thumbsticks? Yeah, I guess some of them do. Mine just has a D-pad. Wristwatch? I don't know if I still own a wristwatch. I got my grandpa's old wristwatches in the drawer. Pretty sure none of them worked. They either got dead batteries or one of them's, I think, a wind up that you wind it up and the spring's probably sprung on it. Actually, I think my neighbor has those watches now because I brought them over him. I think he took them to a jeweler to see if they were worth much of anything, and they're really not. They're nothing that special. They're just sentimental more than anything else. $88. So 88's going on the very end now. That was probably the call for dinner. No power in front room. Is she messing with the timer? Well, I'm not gonna... 1960s? No, they're not that old. Oh, yours maybe. Oh, Timex Marlin. Oh, cool. My grandpa's ones... Well, maybe some of them might be that old. I don't know. I know they're not that special. He's got his retirement watch from Grand Union. I think that might be gold. But it's still... It's nothing amazing. That would have been 1988, its retirement. Oh, gold. The retirement watch might be gold. It's probably just gold-plated, though. By 88, they were cheaping out on stuff. Somewhere. I think my neighbor's got it, actually. Now that I think of it. Oh, boy. I am realizing... I didn't realize how long this string of cars was. This is not going to fit on the main track here. I'm going to have to put it together from the other end. Semiconductor LCD watch. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, no, this is way too long. No. I'm gonna put this together from the other end. I hate having to do that because then you're really messing with the hills, but it ain't gonna fit on this track. I'm not gonna be able to get the other engine. This is the first time I put together a train long enough that didn't fit on this center track. This center track's very long. Oh, cool. Watches are neat. They were just never practical for me. So, and then by the time that I was going out, there was a very short period of time when I was really leaving the house much at all. But I didn't. I did use a watch for a bit then, and I had that pocket watch that I used for a little while. But then, yeah, I either didn't go out anymore, or I had a cell phone with a watch, so I didn't with a clock on it, so I didn't really care. Yeah, that's the problem with watches is everybody's got a phone now. And it's digital, so it's easier to read anyway. That's kind of a nowadays thing. Like some people, I'm sure, when I whip out this thing, the pocket watch in the game here. What time is it? Quick quiz. I know. Actually, is that? Yeah. It's a couple minutes fast, actually. Okay. But anywho, I'm gotta run down. Yep. I gotta run down and grab my food and bring it back up here and eat. So we're gonna have a BRB screen. I don't want to stop streaming though, so we're gonna have a BRB screen. There we go. Alright, now I'm gonna mute my mic and grab my food and stuff, so enjoy the pictures and music, I suppose.
stilte. Nooit voorbij.
Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that. It took a while, but I didn't want to stop streaming. I don't want the whole stream to just be me switching cars around in the yard. Okay, wait, which way's forward now? So I gotta... Yeah. I didn't actually... Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just remembering what I was doing. Okay, I'm gonna have to... I really didn't want to do that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to tack that on afterwards. Timex is a wind-up. Oh, nice. That's probably better than battery, actually. But you gotta keep up with winding it up. Is it a wind-up in the sense where if you just shake your arm and it winds up, or do you have to actually wind it? I think one of my grandpa's old ones has a winder, but also if you shake it enough, it winds up. Yeah. Just the only thing you got to be really careful with a wind up is to not wind it up too tight. You're better off not winding it enough than winding it too much, because if you wind it too much, that's when you break it. At least that's what Grandpa always told me, anyway. Though sometimes the spring just breaks anyway, the winding. But it usually takes a very long time before that happens. Come on. Didn't realize this string was so long. I don't like batteries because, first off, batteries don't last. Well, they're usually in a watch. I think watch batteries last like a year, which really isn't that bad. But on top of that, I think there's a little bit more that go wrong with a battery watch. And then if you leave the battery watch alone and don't touch it for a long time with the old dead battery in it, sometimes the old dead battery can leak. And then you've destroyed the watch. Some of my grandpa's old ones, I wonder. I never had them apart, but I wonder if they're all corroded inside. Alright, that's good enough. I just need to be able to get past it. Hey, the bot's working today. That's good. Oh, I think I'm facing that way, aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna go over there, so this is fine. Do want to close this though, because I'll be hitting it from the other end. Same with this one. I bet it's still open, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Now we're gonna run down to the service area, refuel this thing, grab the other one, and then we'll be almost ready to go. Well, we still have to put the train together because it didn't all fit on the center track like I wanted it to. This is a big train that I'm putting together. Yeah, oh yeah, it's on the calculator. 1,800 tons, hopefully. Oh god, don't get butter all over your nice watch. Wash your hands. Yeah, sometimes the butter just kind of like permeates in your skin, yeah. I know what you mean. I've had butter popcorn and yeah, that's that. Okay. A lot of times I'm lazy and I just like have like a paper towel or something to wipe my hands on, and I don't actually wash them, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta wash them. Because I want my mouse to be all buttery. It's not a good thing. This one's backwards. Oh, god damn it. Wasn't paying attention. Yeah. I gotta be careful with snacking because my diabetes. Especially anything that's carb or sugar. That can screw me over pretty good. This song is just drums. You know what I think? I think I'm gonna turn the volume of Derail Valley down a bit. At least with this engine, it's a bit too loud. Rather do it with the mixer. It's already like 18. Don't mind me. They're kind of taking over in some places, the whole furry thing. I don't mind it. To each their own. As long as they're not too weird about it, I guess. It used to be very popular to cringe at them, but they don't bother me. But it just depends on how much they push the whole furry thing. That's just stupid. What's the point? Oh, half tank. Wow, I didn't think it was that low. Yeah, this thing loves to suck down the fuel. Well, I guess that's the trip from Machine Factory, too. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess. Yeah, the whole cringe culture thing, yeah, was stupid. If there was any part of Mike's streams that I didn't quite like, it was when he went on his cringe stuff. Just finding videos to complain about. I mean, it's just... I don't know, I'm kind of more the philosophy if you don't like it, don't watch it. But a lot of people had a lot of fun listening to him going on about that, and sometimes it was funny, and sometimes it was a bit too much. You know, it was kind of back and forth. Yeah, that's the thing. It just kind of spread like that. Okay, so this one's facing this way. Need this one to face that way. do the same for both right now. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that happened a lot. You try to play a game and it just... I think sometimes he like said, you know, screw it, that's what they want, that's what I'm gonna do. And... yeah. Yeah. That's how it goes. Subs. Submarines are kind of cool. Back when I was little, much littler anyway, when I didn't have a computer yet, and the only console I had was a Nintendo, regular Nintendo, you know, 8-bit. Back then, there were some games I had, and then there was this place where you could rent video games from. This is before the Blockbuster era. And you'd only rent it for 2 days, but it was only 75 cents to rent a Nintendo game. I remember that. It was before Blockbuster. I think the place still kept going for a little while after Blockbuster too, probably, because it was so cheap. But it was a local rental place. It wasn't a chain at all. Wait a minute. Isn't that the way the other one's facing? Yeah. No. Okay, good. Right. Start this one back up, I guess. Come on. I wish I could climb the ladder on this engine. It's really annoying that you have to teleport. Alright, I got this guy. The main thing I remember was that it was so cheap. It was like 75 cents. It was only for 2 days though. Then you'd probably get a penalty of like 10 or 20 cents if you kept it an extra day. I don't know. But the game, there were a few different games that I used to rent, but the main one that I rented all the time, I don't even know why, because I never even really made it that far in the game, but it was a submarine game for the Nintendo. It was called Silent Service. And it wasn't even like an action game so much, it was more of a submarine simulator type game. Like, I tried playing it, like, I found the emulator, you know, the ROM for it, an emulator a while ago, and I tried playing it, and I'm like, why did I play this game so much? I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but it's not that great. I used to think it was the best thing since sliced bread, I guess. I guess I would look at other games to rent, and there wasn't that much selection, because even in those days, Nintendo was out the door, you know. Super Nintendo was out, I think maybe even... the next generation after that was already out. So here I was with my regular Nintendo. Okay, I think I'm gonna want to control that one. Yeah. Here I was with my regular Nintendo still renting cartridges for it. Oh man, used to also rent movies on VHS, of course. I still have a VCR set up now under my computer monitor, and it works. I got some tapes. But what always killed those, like, local mom and pop video rental places is people would not turn their VHS tapes back in, or they would destroy them, one or the other. And you know, every time that happened, the rental place took a hit. Oh, your parents did it for me? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I bet. Man, I haven't double-headed the big D6 in a very long time. Maybe the first set of saves that I used to run, that I ran. Because I remember doing big military jobs where you need it, because going up to the military base from the harbor is such a steep hill. Man, we almost completely cleared out this freaking steel mill yard. I don't know if I've ever done that. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, the only thing we're not taking is all those empties. Just worked out that way. All the jobs were going the same. Usually there's at least one or two jobs that go to, like, machine factory or goods factory. This time it was all steel rails going to harbor. I guess there's some empty flat cars here and there that there's a switching job to put together a job for goods factory or something like that, but whatever. We're gonna just... We've got plenty going to the harbor. I can get past this end, right? Yeah, okay. Figured I gave myself enough room, but I wasn't positive. I missed out on a lot of stuff because all we ever had was a freaking Nintendo. We never had Super Nintendo, never had any Sega stuff. remember a couple of times I would go over to a friend that actually had Sega, and I was like, "Oh my God, you have a Sega Genesis! Oh, we have to play this." And the really sad part was my best friend Jason had a Sega, but they never freaking used it. It was set up. I think it was set up downstairs in the living room. Was the problem. So usually, one of his parents at least would be there, and they didn't want to deal with us playing Sega. And the NES, the Nintendo, was in his room, so that's what we played. He also had a Commodore 64 in his room, which I always wanted to mess around with, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not messing around with that stupid thing. It's a piece of crap." And I mean, it's, I guess, partially correct, but no, that's not what I want. I want that string. No, wait a minute. No, that's got the caboose. No, I did the right thing. Never mind. I know what I'm doing. Good area. My uncle Keel, I think it was. Of course, I only saw him like once or twice a year, maybe. But down in the basement of my grandma Morris's house, there was a Sega Genesis set up, and they were playing some kind of baseball game with it. I remember, but I was a little bit too young, and I wasn't into sports yet at all. Like, I didn't get into baseball until I was already in high school into watching baseball, so it didn't really click with me. But it was still really neat that it was a Sega Genesis. The graphics difference between normally playing games on a Nintendo and then seeing somebody else with a Sega Genesis was insane. You have Sega? Oh, you have a Dreamcast. That's, what, 2 more generations? There's Genesis was 16-bit era. Then there was a Dreamcast, and there was a, what's the other one? What's the other CD-based one? That's when Sega was already going downhill. Why? They just really couldn't compete with Nintendo at the end of the day, I think. Carried covered in hair. Yeah, anything that sits around that you don't use as much is either covered in dust or hair or both. It's the way of things. Dreamcast is CD based though, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And then what's the other thing? They did 2 CD based ones before. Test Drive Le Mans, nice. There were 2 different CD-based games that they did before they went out of business. Well, they didn't really go out of business, but they just stopped making consoles and stuff, I guess. Dreamcast, and what's the other one? I can't think of it. It's something that I never had, which is why I can't think of it. But I never got into, back in the day, I never had a Super Nintendo, I never had a N64, which I'm kind of glad I never got into the N64 era, because Saturn, that's the other one. Saturn and Dreamcast was probably the last, I think. Saturn came after Genesis, and then there was Dreamcast. Yep, Dreamcast was the last. Dreamcast was to try to compete against Sony PlayStation, probably, but nothing could compete against Sony PlayStation, really. Yeah. Nice. I never got into any of those, though, because we just had the NES right up until one Christmas when my dad got us a freaking Sony PlayStation out of nowhere. Probably when it was still a really new PlayStation. I think the first controller didn't have analog sticks, so yeah, it was really early PlayStation days. And then, you know, really quickly we got another controller that did have analog sticks, but yeah, the difference, man, stepping up from 8-bit NES to CD graphics with the Sony PlayStation and playing like Final Fantasy 8. We didn't even have Final Fantasy 7. We started with 8, and I think mainly the first game played a lot was Breath of Fire 3. My sister played through that a lot, and I would help her with it. I'd try to help keep track of where she was going and stuff because we did that with like Zelda on the NES too. And then I did the fishing mini game a lot for her because she didn't want to deal with it. Oh, PS2 or 360. Okay. Hi there, CJ. How you doing? I've never had an Xbox. Anything. And my PS2 is my newest console. Flat cars. My PS2 is my newest console, and that's still hooked up under my main monitor too. In fact, recently, a few months ago, I fixed my PS2 because the eye that reads the discs was all worn out. It just couldn't read anything anymore, really. Xbox One. Okay. 64. Nice. Oh, that sucks. Burn. You were in cars and fought each other for. Oh, cool. Ah, nice, CJ. I don't know. I think I would like to try out VR some days. Some people do good with it, other people get motion sick and stuff. That really sucks, Bird, that they made you sell all that stuff off. At least we have emulators nowadays. They usually work pretty good. Of course, now it's can you find the ROMs for the emulators anymore? That the copyright gods have been all over it. There used to just be gazillions of sites to download ROMs from, but I don't know if you can really do it anymore. You gotta really dig now. Which is, yeah, it's because Sega, especially, is coming out with their collections, their game collections on Steam, and they want you to pay for it. It's like, I paid for it back in the 80s, I'm not gonna pay for it again. Star Fox. Oh, Payday. Yeah, I think I would like VR for Derail Valley. I probably would, but you know, it's expensive. Emulating N64 is really tough, yeah. Yep, N64 is really tricky with the emulator. I think I have an emulator called Project 64, which works pretty good, but I've only tried it with a couple of games. Yeah, you have to, if you really want stuff to work good with N64 emulation. Searching. But, you gotta find all sorts of like plugins and stuff for the emulator. It's not easy. Spot's got a pretty good handle on it though, I think, because he's streamed some N64 stuff. Makes you feel small in comparison to locomotives. Oh, that's neat. Should. Wow, this is a long train. Holy crap. I knew it was. And you know the best part? I shouldn't have done this, but I'm stubborn. I want to leave from the center main track here in the steel mill because I don't want to leave the switches for a track that's going to be clogged up when I'm coming back in the next time, you know. I want the switches already lined up for the center track. So I'm backing all the way back up so that I can come out through the center track, but this massive 1,800-ton train is going to be on this hill back here when I try to pull back forward. What? Hey, that's why I double-headed. It's like you're a crouch all the time. Oh, okay. I'm sure there's a lot of adjustments you can make, too, to fine-tune it. That makes sense. Most of the time you need to be in crouch anyway. Yeah, the other thing with VR, not only am I worried, even if I had the money to spend on it, about like motion sickness, like some people like it, some people don't. But on top of that, you also need some space to move around. You know, you need space to swing your arms around and stuff. I don't have any space out of it. You've probably never seen pictures of my work area here, but I have like a small computer desk. Okay, let me just let it air up. Small computer desk with a big bed on one side and another piece of furniture on the other side. I have like just enough space to sit here. So trying to flail my arms around while I have this mask over my face probably would not work out too well. Yeah. I would guess with something like this you wouldn't need that much space, yeah. Other more action-oriented games, maybe. Wait a minute. No, I don't want this. I just needed this. Okay. Alright, I think we're finally ready to go. Let me pull this up, get off the hill before I turn and start the quest. Start the job, I mean. Quest. Oh god, we're going backwards. Why are we going backwards? Because it's freaking downhill backwards. Yeah, this is the hill I was worried about. I should have just left from the other track. Oh well, this is a good test because we got a big hill coming up just to get out of Steel Mill anyway, so this isn't as bad as getting out of Steel Mill. Okay, we're moving. Okay, nothing slipping. 61. Yes. Then it should be 91 and 88. No, it's not bad. Steamer in the front, and then the two diesels controlled both MU with the remote, I'm guessing. I've done that before. I've had a steam engine with a diesel backup. Then I just use the diesel when I really need it. I've gotten good enough with the steam engine now that I don't feel like I need to do that unless I'm doing something really heavy. But now I guess if I'm doing something really heavy, I'll just use the big diesel. '91, yep. 61, 91, 88 at the end. Jesus, this is a long train. Two steamers? Now, two steamers, that is something that I've never tried to do because you have to keep teleporting back and forth between the two steamers. That, I know it's possible, but boy, that's gotta be a pain. Okay, let's turn in all the quests. We are ready to go. tap the brakes ever so slightly. Just in a rush to get back to the train. So how much time do we have? 25 minutes. So 61, 91, 88 is the order. One. 91. 84, of course. E9. The 3 sets go to 3 different yards. Great. I think we'll go into G5 first. That's the first set of cars. And then I can run around through E to grab the other end. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Yeah, not nice, huh? 3 different yards for 3 notes. Yeah. And they're all the same kind of cars. They're all rails. So I'm gonna have to look at the cars and figure out where to break the train. Yep. Fun times. I think I'll get the speedy bonus just for the first set of cars that on G5. Probably won't get the speedy bonus because then I'm gonna have to run the engines around to the tail end and to put the rest of the other sets in. Oop, I'm starting to slip. Trying to get us up to 60 at least. Takes a lot to slip these big diesels, but they do slip. Yeah, harbor. Yeah. G, D, D. I wish the wheel slip indicator light was synced up when you MU the 2 engines. Like, I'm a little bit worried that the second engine might be slipping and I'm not going to notice it, but I don't think it is. It takes an awful lot for these big things to slip. But still, I wish that if any unit was slipping, the light would come on in all of them. That's how it should be. I think that's probably how it is in real life. Maybe not, though. I would think so, though, because then how do you know if the second or third unit is slipping? We're doing pretty good. Double heading these big beastly engines. Oh, we're just under 60, so we're fine, but still. Yeah. For a long time, I would have to go through this thing and figure out what yard's what and stuff. But now, I've played this game so long, I've got the yards pretty well memorized. Well, the ones that I don't use as much, I still need the schematic map for, like Sawmill and the forest places. But the harbor, I've gone there so many times. Even though the harbor is really big and sprawled out, still got it pretty well memorized. we're making up the hill pretty good. Then once we do make it up the hill, then the rest is either flat or downhill. You can just idle all the way down to the harbor. Gotta remember this train is really freaking long, so if I see the speed limit go up to 10, I can't really do it right away. I don't even know if I will get up to 10 with this big of a train, but that's why the caboose is so good. You can see where the end of your train is on the map. Go a little bit faster. I love how the speed limit goes up to 120 for like 100 feet and then right back down to 100. It's like, what's the point? That's just the quirkiness of Derail Valley. It's fun. 80. Yeah, can probably watch the fuel go down right now. Got her just about notch 8. Yeah, notch 8. Boy. Well, in this game, it's not really notch 8. It's what is it, 5 is full throttle? Then there's the little half throttles. So. Okay, 70. We're doing. Just made it up to 80, and it went down to 70, of course. Good. Close enough to not derail. Even with how beefy my computer is now, if I got a big train like this, it hitches up a little bit here and there. It's not too bad though. It's because of all the mods, especially all the different skins that I have. Wouldn't have it any other way though. Actually, the skins really should make a difference when you're out in the middle of nowhere. When you first hit a new yard, especially like the harbor, that's what it should stutter a lot. Actually, it doesn't really stutter much when you go into the harbor, actually. Just a tiny bit. You can't get them working because it's too much of a hit on the computer, or you can't figure out how to get the mods to work? My problem is people come up with new skins and I keep downloading them. Or I make my own skins, like this engine, the New Haven paint scheme I made. I made 2 different New Havens, and then I've got a O&W's. Hard to get the mods to work. And I guess it's a little tricky. First, you got to get Unity Mod Manager working. Ooh, that's a 4. I knew that 4 was coming too. I gotta just pull against the brakes. Yeah, it's got the black with the white whiskers. It does look like an NS, yeah. It's actually, it's like towards the end of New Haven Railroad before they went out of business and got taken over by Penn Central. Actually, they begged to be taken over by Penn Central. But, yeah, I like the McGinnis era stuff a bit better, which is the other paint job. The white stripes go all the way across the whole thing, though, and then you got the big NH for New Haven. But yeah, it does look like the whiskers in the front. Close the door. Now, in this part, there's technically some places where you can go a bit faster, but I usually keep it between 40 and 50. There's no point in speeding up just to go back down. Steam Loco and Gray. I'd have to see a picture. If it's super simple, I might be able to do it, but I'm not very good at making stuff from scratch so much. I usually take a skin that somebody else made and then heavily modify it. Well, actually, this one's pretty much from scratch, but there's not much of the old skin left when I'm done. But it gives me the guidelines. It lets me know where the stripes need to be and stuff like that. I think a lot of people when they make skins, they use Blender, which is like a 3D program, so that you can see what you're painting when you paint it. I don't know how to do that, so I still do it the old-fashioned way, which is just paint the skins in GIMP, which is like a free Photoshop. It works, but there's a lot of guessing. There's a lot of draw a line and then put the skin in game and say, nope, that line's not in the right spot. Okay. Are you in the Discord? You can just post it there if you want. If it's super fancy, I probably can't do it, but if it's pretty simple, I can probably find another skin that's relatively close and then just modify it. Steamer's kind of tricky though. The diesels are a lot easier to paint. Okay, cool. I'll look at it. Is it almost 8? I think we'll get down to the harbor and we'll get everything parked up and maybe just do some switching jobs just to unload these cars that we brought in. And then I'll call it a stream. Then I'll feel like I accomplished something. Here's this curve. We're good. We're at 40. I just probably hit the brakes a little too hard now. I'm always paranoid about this turn because that is a real beginner's trap, that turn with that tunnel. It's very easy to fly into that turn too fast, fly off the tracks and just slam into the mountainside. Because the speed limit's like 6 or 7 right before that turn, and then bam, 4. Now it's gonna be pretty much 4s all the way down. But I'd rather fight against the brakes than be going too fast and derail. The steep hill, you can see how much speed we gained just rolling down the hill. Still going a little too fast. This is a lot of weight. This is 1,800 tons we're coming down the mountain with. Dynamics would have been nice, but they're not functional yet. Eventually they're going to work, the dynamic brakes. Of course, it's the only engine that has them. Yep, 1,881 tons. Which is, yeah, a lot. That's why I double-headed the big diesels. Usually anything you want to move you can do with just one big diesel, but this is a lot. A big boy, yeah, a lot of people talk about that, but at the same time, big boy would never, ever fit on these curves. Especially by city southwest. Something that would have probably fit articulated but like the big boy, but not quite as big, the Challenger 4664 instead of 4884. That would maybe make more sense. Okay, G5 first, right? Yeah. Then we're gonna have to run around through the whole passenger yard to get to the other end. Because this train is stupidly long. Yeah, look at that. Can't even see the end of it yet. $39.85, yes. Oh, I wish Union Pacific would fix her back up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Last I heard about $39.85 is I think she's got boiler issues, like part of the boiler would have to be rebuilt. I think it would probably be more practical to get another Challenger. Fix that up, but 3, 4, 5. Oh, I thought we weren't turning for a second. I got worried. Oh, we're good. I think there's another Challenger in 3977, which would need a full restoration, but the boiler is okay, so it would be easier to do that than to fix the 3985, I think. I could be mixing things up. I think I'm thinking of Steamtown. Steamtown, they have a 282 steam engine that hasn't ran in probably just over 10 years now, and I think it has maybe like frame problems or something. 3977, yeah, it has been sitting outside. Yeah, boiler swap, yeah, they could do something like that. Yep, just a little bit more, I think. It's also one at Steamtown, something with 7s in it. Same kind of situation, like part of one is good, but then the other one has parts that are good, and yeah. But hey, Steamtown's getting closer to finally having an American engine running. Well, they've got the Baldwin 060, but like they always had a Pacific and a Mikado from, you know, Canadian Pacific, I think, Canadian National, one of the Canadians, and now with the Boston and the Maine Pacific, I don't remember what the name is on the Boston and Maine, but once that's finally done, then they'll actually have an American mainline locomotive. Okay. Turn in. How are we doing on time? 5 minutes. Yeah, we're only gonna get the timer for this first load here. You can see just how long this freaking train is. Holy crap, do I even clear up there at the main? Am I gonna have to get... Yes, okay. Jeez. This is probably about the longest train I've ever done. I might have done one a bit longer that was at least partially empty, so it wasn't as heavy. Hey, they gave me 25 and I did it 19. 6 minutes early, yay. 14,000 just for that. Good. Okay, next one, D4. It's either gonna be 676, 529. Actually, the easiest way to tell is just see if it still says FH or if it says SU. Fuel oil. Just about everything is nowadays. It's so hard to keep up with the. Okay, that's SU. So. This coal is a lot harder logistics-wise, I think, because you have to actually load it with a loader, and there's no such thing as coal docks, coal trestles anymore, or anything like that. So, it's just a lot easier to deal with oil. Fireworks, yeah, I bet. Yeah, and you got to remember they're out west too, so very prone to wildfires. Yep. Okay, we can shut this one down now. I'm gonna save on some fuel. How much fuel did we use up? About a quarter tank. That's not too bad. One steam engine that's still running, that they still run with coal, if I can think of off the top of my head, is Nickel Plate Road 765. I always forget the numbers. I think it's 7. It's a Berkshire, 284 Berkshire. That still runs on coal. And I remember that one of the funniest things was, well, not funny but practical, is I saw it running in an excursion, and not only did it have a long passenger train, because those were originally freight engines, so they haul around passenger trains like they're nothing, and that thing goes quick. They'll bring it up to like 70 miles an hour. But the first like 5 or 6 cars in the front were just coal hoppers with a big like loader up on top of the coal hopper. It's like, yeah, we'll just bring our own fuel around with you, thank you very much. Yeah, we're sticking with coal and we're just gonna drag it along with us. I was like, oh, that's great. Take that, Hal Gore. Yeah, some narrow gauges had to be converted because, yeah, they're out west and there's places where it's just way too easy to start a fire. And then when the fire starts, you burn down the whole damn forest. So, yeah. Makes sense. It's probably starting to get a little bit harder to get coal nowadays too, maybe. Just with so many regulations on it. Seems a little silly to me, but whatever. Everybody that sees something burning coal and sees the black smoke and goes, oh, look at that black smoke. I always have to explain to them, I'm like, the black smoke is just, unburned coal cinders, and it just falls back down to the ground. It doesn't really hurt anything. Now, when you see a diesel, like this, blowing black smoke out, that's diesel particulate. That's like unburnt diesel fuel and other chemicals and stuff. That's actually worse for the air than this coal. The coal looks bad, and it gets on your clothes and stuff, but it settles back down to the ground. I mean, obviously there's also CO2 and sulfur dioxide that comes out of coal, burning coal too, but still, they can make, if they really try, they can actually make coal relatively cleanish. I think it's better than fuel, oil. Oh, their coal mine is going out of action. Yeah, if they run out of a supply for coal too, that's not going to help. Ah, there's the bell. Wow, that 10 minutes went quick. 5 minutes. Okay, so 4. I guess we'll go D4I first. Oh, nice! So you actually got to see it? That's awesome. Sadly, I'm on the East Coast, so I'll never even have a chance to see anything like that. The closest I got to seeing, well, I've been to Steamtown a few times. Especially the first time it was to Steamtown, they had both the Pacific and the Picado running. It was awesome. They were just running the passenger train back and forth in the area. And then when it came to running up to, Moscow, Pennsylvania, for the excursion, then they only ran the Pacific. But still, that was cool. Excuse me. Yeah, it's weird. It's a little town in Pennsylvania, and it's called Moscow for some reason. Yep, it's a little dinky town. It's not too far from Scranton. It was a nice little excursion. Well, actually, it was a decent little trip because nowadays when they run, even when they do have a running steam engine, they only go up to the Nayog Tunnel, which is only like a mile or two from Scranton. It's just a short little haul, and Moscow was like it was a bit further because you got to climb up a hill too. They would have you look out the windows. You know, the park rangers that would describe everything. They would have you look out the windows and go, okay, just watch the land now, and you can see it going up and see how much we're going uphill. And we were. That was a fun trip. Oh, that's right, I already... 3958. 1900s, okay. Or are you talking about the Challenger? The Challenger, I think they ran up until like the mid or late 90s? Maybe early 2000s? And then that's when they discovered all the trouble with the boiler. They're not okay, yeah. Are we moving? There we go. Maybe I shut down this one engine too soon. I'm trying to save fuel. Oh, 2010. Okay, it did go though. Yeah. Yeah, because they were already getting in trouble with the boiler. I think something from the boiler was leaking. They kept like patching it and stuff, which is just going to make the restoration even harder. The 844 was down for a while, and I think I remember reading some article where they were using substandard water and not blowing the boiler down often enough, so a lot of the tubes got wrecked, and they had to really do a much bigger overhaul than they were expecting with that one. But that's been running a couple years now too. I don't think they ran it this year. They did the one big tour with the 4014 this year, big boy, which was pretty cool. I wish they'd run it without the diesel, or run the big boy actually pull some freight with it, because man, that's what it was designed to do, you know. It's barely working at all, pulling passenger trains around. The big boy's like, "Yeah, whatever. Why did I wake up for this?" Using like 10% of its power. I know the diesel's just there for backup or if something goes wrong, but it's still kind of annoying seeing it there. Although the big boy on this last tour, I think it did have a problem. I think one of the injectors stuck open. Say what, they were just dumping water around a lot, which was bad. Okay, I'm going forward now. Empty passenger trains, yeah. Well, I saw somewhere where they were selling tickets to ride behind the big boy for this last tour. Holy crap, were they expensive. I knew they would be expensive, but goddamn. Yeah, positive train control. Yeah, they got that set up now. I don't think anybody's gonna fall asleep running the big boy. But okay, positive train control, sure. The 4014 is the steam engine, 4015 is the diesel, yeah. But I think they had to use the diesel for a stretch of the tour because Big Boy was losing a lot of water because of an injector that was stuck open, I think. I think that's what I read. We're going kind of slow doing the switching now because I already shut down the one engine. I shouldn't have shut down the engine yet, but I'm trying to save on fuel, I guess, and we're already past the speedy bonus. No, 8 o'clock now. Yeah. And you can thank all of this positive control stuff. You can thank Amtrak for with their with 2 or 3 wrecks. I think one of them was CSX. Oh, where's 4? 4 is straight in. But where they had the one wreck down in Philly, where the Amtrak train, the driver thought he already went through the 30-mile-an-hour turn, and so he sped up to like 60 something, but he didn't go through the 30-mile-an-hour turn yet, so whoops. 6, 12, 10 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. I think there. No, not the Crazy Eights. Don't. That was a different thing. Amtrak was apparently, and then, of course, part of it is always like sleep deprivation and crap. But yeah, I think a few people died in that one too. There's this one tight curve just like north of Philadelphia Station where you just can't go more than 30, 35 on. And he hit it at like 70 because he thought he was already past the curve. And then there's a big curve on the main line going into New York City that an Amtrak train and a CSX train both hit at double the speed limit and flipped the whole freaking train. And yeah, big problem. That was bad. Well, it didn't flip it. It turned it into an accordion, basically. The Amtrak one, I think the think they proved that the engineer was asleep. Or he was like blacking out due to sleep apnea, something like that. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yep, that happened. Some rail fan with a camera, I think. We gotta move. Oh, no. I didn't unhook. Did the air, but I didn't do this. Whoops. I think that was a rail fan that got hit because they were trying to get the right picture and weren't paying attention. I understand the whole thing with rail fanning, I really do. But how do you get in the way of a giant steam engine? I don't get it. Yeah, you sound like you're somewhere where you can watch all the Union Pacific action. Man, that sucks. That was bad. Yeah. That's probably why they were forced to use PTC this year, actually. That didn't sound good. Don't make noises like that. I guess I could turn in the one that I parked. Not that it matters, I know I'm not getting the speedy bonus anyway. Yep. 10,000 anyway. We gotta go to where? E9. This is a really long one. This is 14 cars. I want to see. I know it's just about done, but I don't think they've run it much yet. The it's B&O or C&O? Well, it's Western Maryland Railroad that's got it now. The big articulated engine. What do they call it? Baldwin's last steam engine. It's like a. I think it was built like in 44 or 45 when everybody was already starting to dieselize. It's an articulated one. It's like maybe a 2664 or something like that. I don't remember now what the wheel arrangement is. But it's really it's too big for Western Maryland, I think. But around New Year's, they ran it just a little bit in the yard, just like a proof of concept thing. Yeah. that restoration hit a big speed bump because somebody a few years ago now. 8i? 9i. Somebody stole all the brass journals out of the wheel bearings of the engine. So they had to make them all over again. Yeah, the 611. Oh man, the 611 is amazing. Such a beautiful locomotive. It's probably the only running streamliner we have left. Hi there, Lucy. How you doing? The 611. Like full streamliner. I think that's probably the only one left. Is resting today? Okay. Yeah. That thing's a thing of beauty. And the 611 was built like right towards the end of Steam, so it was built with like it's pretty much one of the most modern steam engines there are, I think. Because Norfolk Southern was huge into steam because they had huge coal reserves. J3 to Jarvis Hudson. Oh, that would be amazing. I know this steam engine trust the T1, the guys that are building the T1 from scratch. Which is awesome, by the way, but I kind of wish they went with a Hudson. It would be a bit more practical. Why am I looking at that? No, what I'm doing, my brain's losing it. Okay, so that's all done. I guess you can check out the unload. There we go. That's going to be the one that we're hooked up to now. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cars. Yep. Think about that one. Yeah, the T1. Yeah, the T1 is very long. Yeah, it's not articulated. It really should have been articulated, but they'll find enough tracks that they can go around. It's just the tightest turns that they really can't do. That thing is built strictly for speed, though. Like a lot of people say that T1 broke the speed record. Steam speed record, but it was just never recorded, which is very possible. I don't know. Also, the big problem with the T1 with its duplex drive, you know, it's a 4-4-4-4, which is a little weird. But supposedly a lot of the problems was because the engineers just weren't used to the way the throttle was. But they would slip the wheels a lot. Well, hopefully when the one that they're building now with all the newest technology and stuff, they'll probably be able to combat a lot of the issues that they had originally with them. Hopefully. A4 Pacific? No, the T1, it's long. Long boy. I didn't start it yet. The T1 is a four pilots, 4 drivers, another set of 4 drivers, and 4 trailing wheels. Now, usually when there's 2 sets of drivers, there's an articulation, you know, a hinge point in between. Not on that engine. It's all one solid thing. There was one even crazier, a couple of them. The S1, which was a 6446, which was really silly. Oh yeah, as far as the speed record winner, yeah, that's the Pacific. That'd be the Flying Scotsman. I guess that's an A4 Pacific. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, why am I unhooking it? We're gonna be doing this one. Red Bear's brain starting to die. Oh, we got air back up. Good job, me. Make sure I didn't set any handbrakes. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Yeah, A4 Pacific's what's got the record. Yeah, Flying Scotsman. Supposedly, one of the goals of the T1, when they get it built, is going to be to try to break that speed record. Or at least, it's a lofty goal, because you know what's going to happen. This is America with all of the insurance nonsense. The T1's going to have a diesel behind it, probably. First off. And second of all, it's probably going to be speed limited to like 50 at most. Something, well, you know, maybe 70. The Berkshire runs around at like 70 something miles an hour. Nobody's going to let it do like 120 something miles an hour, you know? Just from liability standpoints. But who knows? Maybe. Maybe since this isn't a historic engine that's being built right now, it's literally a brand new steam engine. They're building everything from scratch, from the ground up. Maybe they will let it really top out. We'll see. Oh, Flying Scotsman's A3? I wouldn't know. I don't know much about British stuff. They were really awesome engines, though. England stuck with steam so much longer than America because I guess they had a good coal supply, probably. Be my guess, but they stuck with steam for a long time. Yeah, 844. Yep, probably close to 80. That thing flies. Have to start this engine back up just to drop it off into the engine bay. Wasn't thinking that through. This engine's not powered right now, it's just going for the ride. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Well, with steam engines, you can really tell that they're going to be fast when you look at how big the freaking drive wheels are. If the drive wheels are like taller than you, then yeah, that thing's going to fly. The only problem is in the beginning is with adhesion. How much are you going to slip the wheels trying to get going? Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably oil, because they've probably got extra tender for water. I know Union Pacific likes to do that. But, you know, it's only going to carry so much oil. I think the 844 runs on waste oil, like used motor oil and whatnot. Which is pretty cool, you gotta get rid of it anyway. Although I worry about how much it gums things up, the used motor oil and whatever other waste oil they can come up with. That is the neat thing with steam engines, is they are versatile. At the end of the day, the steam engine just has to have a big enough fire to burn it, to boil enough steam to power it. You know, it doesn't matter how you make the fire. In the early days, it was wood, and then they realized, well, you know, coal is so much better than wood. And then everything got, a lot of stuff got converted to oil. However, you can figure out to boil enough water. As far as the sci-fi department is concerned, what if they made a little nuclear reactor like in the Tender, just to boil the water? It could work, but you'd have to put so much armor around it. It would be insane. Coffee? No. I never drank coffee or tea. Never got the taste for it. Very true. Yep, no fancy electronics to screw you over with a steam engine. Another advantage of steam is if you're in an area where the tracks flood. Steam engine doesn't really care about that. The only thing you got to worry about flooding with a steam engine is if the water gets up to the firebox. Then you've got water, cool water hitting a very hot firebox, and then you're gonna break everything. But as long as the water doesn't make it up to the firebox, you can just wade right through it, nice and slow. Yeah, Sturgey, I was never much of a hot liquid drinker at all. Oh, damn it, I didn't throw the switch. Red Bear. Not paying attention. Oh, what, did I hit the brakes too hard? You have to air up now. Come on. Ah, there's Rad Racer. Yes. Speaking of NES that we were talking about a while ago, this game, it was my most played game easily on the Nintendo. Rad Racer. Played that all the time. Yeah, any photos you want to put up, go right ahead. Just throw them in the trains category. I'll look at them after I'm done streaming, which will be after I dump off these cars, probably. It's like 8:30 now. I didn't want to stop for dinner time. I didn't feel like I streamed enough at that time, and I didn't really do anything except switch around in the yard and steel mill. But now we made it down to Harbor and made our money and stuff, so now I wouldn't mind stopping sometime soonish. Look at that shadow freaking out. Also, CJ, you seem to like Derail Valley a lot. Are you in the Derail Valley Discord? So there's a lot of helpful information in there. Did I know? Alright. Anybody know why I didn't throw the switch? I think I'm finding out that it's time soon for me to stop switching. Stop streaming, I mean. Or at least stop playing this game. After I went through the switch the wrong way twice. Yeah, okay. I'm in the Derail Valley Discord, but I have that whole server, I think it's called muted. Basically, I don't get little dings every time something pops up on that server because it's a very active server. There's always something going on, which is great, but yeah. Come on. I know, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way and then I hit the brakes, and now you're fighting the brakes. Throw the switch. But the Derail Valley place, Discord, is a good place to see mods when they first pop up or when they first fix the mods, that kind of stuff. I'm sad that Procedural Sky never got fixed. I was actually running it for a while before the newest update that broke it. Procedural Sky let the it turned to nighttime and sometimes it rained and stuff like that. It didn't affect the traction when it was raining. It didn't get that deep, but seeing it turn from night to day and stuff and giving the engines a reason to have working lights was pretty cool. But they never fixed it. Yeah, there was actually a multiplayer mod for a little while, but I think that got abandoned too, because it was just too hard to keep it working, and it didn't work that well. Like, I think the only engine you could use was the DE2, the little switchers. The other engines would not sync up for anything, and even then, there were all sorts of mishaps that would happen with that multiplayer mod. But it was neat that the concept was at least possible. Sturgy, yeah, probably after I do this switching job, I think. I was thinking of doing the other switching jobs too, but I think I'm just gonna do this one. I'm gonna stop. Okay. .401. So this end goes to G7. Then there's C, and then there's G6 now, of course. C is in the middle. So this goes to G7. Do that first. Alright, Sergi. I'll see ya. Lucy, yeah. I need to start streaming at different times instead of just trying to go for daytime all the time. Daytime kind of seems like the best time slot for me, because mostly because other people aren't streaming as much then. And I've got some viewers that are over in Europe, so it's the right time for them too. But I should switch it up to some nighttime stuff too. Okay, be careful not to go over 30 on this curve coming up right here. Very easy to derail, especially with empty flat cars. Or those big diesels. So, Lucy, you got all your engine parts in a safe place. I think you said in a shed and stuff. It's the last thing you want is to start wrecking other stuff. I wish I could have rebuilt my Beetle engine when it blew out. Shed under some cardboard. Okay, good. Not a place that ever floods, right? Although, I mean, metal parts, even if it did flood, you just dry them off. That's not really something you have to worry that much about. Okay, good. And you have all the whatever bolts you'd have to reuse. You got those somewhere safe and maybe labeled in coffee cans or something. Otherwise, you're gonna have fun sorting everything out. Although you're getting a bunch of new parts that are gonna be coming with the bolts. Good, good. Right. Jeez. I believe it. Those are some important bolts. What kind of train, what size is what, CJ? Sorry, I missed something. This one that I'm running now. Cars 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. Yes. Okay, so that's that. There's gonna be 4 cars that go to C1. And 3 up towards the engine goes to G6, which is here. Okay, so I gotta put 4 cars in the main center track. Some OG Doom music. The Sega CD. Hope you guys can hear it actually. Oh, okay. Oh boy, that's gonna be a big one. Steam or diesel? I usually always do steam from Iron Mine because that's the kind of service they have there. That's how you kick cars. Oh, nice. Takes 3. 6. I forgot to look when we came into the harbor if there was a steam engine available at the shops. Did I set my watch? No, I didn't set the watch. Either I make it or I don't. Oh, burpee. This, I can definitely say with Derail Valley, this is the first train simulator game that I really got into. I used to play Railroad Tycoon 3 all the time, but you know, that's a totally different ball of wax. That's not a train simulator at all. That's a tycoon game that has trains in it. Handbrake. Cool. I love the caboose. It's so useful. Still got one dead diesel up on the front right now. Yeah, I figured it would be long and heavy if you're coming from the iron mine. Yeah. The good thing about iron mine to steel mill, though, is it's mostly downhill. Mostly. I don't know which iron mine it is, but if it's iron mine west, then the only uphill you got to worry about is getting around the machine factory. But you do know if you're coming from west, there's a track that goes around the machine factory. It's a little bit windier, maybe a little bit slower, but oh, you're coming from east, so you know. But if it was west, there's that track that goes around the machine factory, and it's not nearly as steep of a hill as trying to go up and over through the machine factory is. But if you're coming from east, then I think the only hill you have to worry about is just getting out of the iron mine east, just getting out onto the main line. Once you're out of there, everything's downhill. You got to go around that big spiral mountain, but you're going downhill the whole time, pretty much, I think. Haven't done that run in a while, but I think so. Now, if you're trying to... now, you're doing iron, but if you were trying to do coal... oh boy, the climb out of the coal mine is probably one of the worst hills in the game. That is really crazy steep. I've gotten a little over 800 tons out of there before with just the steam engine. But I had to run that steam engine. I had to get that firebox as hot as I could get it. Full over in the red. Like, as far as the temperature gauge was concerned, the steam engine was about to explode. That was the only way that I could make enough steam with, you know, full throttle and everything to get out of that coal mine. I did it on stream. It was pretty wild. I was very happy with myself when I did that. It was like 850 tons. But just like the iron mine, once you get out of the coal mine, once you get out onto the main line and you're up over that first hill, then the rest of it's downhill. Alright, cool. I'll check it all out pretty soon. I just got these 3 cars to drop. No, C now. 4 cars to C1. Oh, I'm doing a 40. Please don't derail. Doing 40, that might have been a little too quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. From Iron Mine East, though, it won't be too bad. Once you're out of that, you're kind of in like in a pocket where the actual mine is. Once you get up out over that hill, out of the mines, and you're on the main line, and the rest of it's not too bad. Most overkill possible. 2 DE6. I know one of them's not ready to sell. 2 DE6 for 4 cars. 4 empty flat cars. Okay, good. We have a steam engine. I was worried for a second. Oh, where am I going? That's where I'm going. It's taking in the scenery. At least I know there's a steam engine now. For next time, we will run steam. It's just more fun. Oh, wrong way, Magoo. Okay. Let's see. 22 minutes, that gave me 27. Yay. 19,000. Good. Alright, let's get the engine serviced. It's the last thing I'll do before I stop streaming. Gotta get the engine serviced and see how we are with licenses, what I might want to buy next. I think I just have hazmat and military left. Which of course is the most expensive stuff. Oh, I already locked those down. I think I'll go around the Y for efficiency's sake. refill this engine first. Still gonna have to start it back up to get its own stall, but whatever. One switcher there, and there's always another switcher up there. How many stalls do I have here now? See how much this run costed us in fuel. Probably a lot. Well, we made a lot too, so it'll work out. How much do I have now? We have $356,000. Nice. Because I think the last military job is like 400,000, but I think first I'm gonna go after. I think I only have hazmat 1, so I need hazmat 2 and 3, which is probably another 400,000. So yeah, we still got a little ways to go, but we are building up money. I'll toss the caboose over on the Y for now. I like how much one D6 has to work just to move the other dead D6. It's a little oof. So this one that I shut down right after we parked the big train still got about 3/4 of a tank. The other one's probably got about a half tank if I had to guess. We'll find out in a minute. Love all the vegetation from the newest update. It's pretty nice. I have the graphics turned down kind of low because, yeah, mods make everything stutter a bit more anyway, so. But even with how low I have it, it still looks really good. Oh. Brain dying. There, turned it just in time. Southern. Yeah, about a quarter tank. This is the one that wasn't running most of the time. Most of that quarter tank was just climbing out a steel mill. That's 6,000 for a quarter tank. There are 2 spots? Yeah, there's 2 spots. Okay. Oh, you got Thunder with the number 611? Oh, that's awesome. I think I saw somebody on the Discord link a picture. They got 611 too. No, it was 844 they got. Which is pretty neat because, you know, steam engine here is a 282, so it's pretty close to the 844. What is that? Oh, that's the Canadian locomotive, isn't it? Yeah, Canadian Pacific. That's a new skin that I just got recently. I like it. I gotta start this thing up. Gotta start it up just to pull it into the bay. There's the door. There it is. Don't have to turn the lights off, but I feel like I should. It's the headlights, by the way, that I never use because procedural sky doesn't work anymore. Yeah. Yeah, just turn it by hand, whatever. Yeah, this does look like Norfolk Southern. Oh, those white stripes. But thankfully there's no horse on the front, so... and it says NH. I'm gonna stop on the turntable real quick and I'll show off the other New Haven skin. Doesn't have to be perfect on the turntable, I just want to skin it real quick. Oh, Western Maryland. New Haven black. Yep, there's a Union Pacific one back there. I've got a lot of skins. I didn't make that. I only made some. But this is the other New Haven one that I did make. This is more of the classic McGinnis style, like 50s with New Haven locomotives. They wouldn't have had it on an engine like this because these engines came later, but it would have been on like RS1s and RS3s and GPs. The early GP7s, GP9s. But red cab and the rest black, very simple. I goofed somewhere and I ended up painting all the like little hinges and stuff red. Or orangish red, whatever this color is, but I ain't going back now trying to figure out how to fix it. It's not even anything on this end. It's just black. Pretty simple. But painting that cab red was a little tricky. With the hinges? Yeah, I guess it does look kind of good. At least it's all of them are red, not some of them are red and some of them are black, right? That would be really silly. Really lazy because I'm tired. Stop. I can probably get away with... No, I can't get away with leaving this here because I'm going to end up doing switching with the little diesels, with the little diesel, and then I'm going to have to... the 44 tonner, and then I'm going to have to move it later, but whatever. A little under half, yep, that's about what I figured. I was hoping for half, but these big diesels really like to drink the fuel. $13,000. At least the wheels are cheap. Didn't slip them. 14,000. So 14 plus another 6. 20,000. So I think we only made about maybe 12,000 on that run. Something like that. Maybe a little bit more, maybe. But it was fun. Probably should have just dropped off all the cars and then fueled these up and gotten the 44 tonners out. But yeah. And these engines that are technically called DE2s, shunters. I just always call them 44 tonners. Oh, who followed? Haas. That's a bot. God damn it. I was so excited. I was like, oh, I got a follower. But it's a bot. Anything with Haas in it, I found out. No good. Anywho. So I think that's about it. We got everything parked. We got a steam engine for next time. Might keep it in Canadian. What is this? Canadian National, Canadian Pacific. Canadian Pacific. Oh, cool. Oh, even... Is that the way the logo's supposed to be? Or is it supposed to be two-tone? Or did he try to make it like some of it was worn off? I think it's supposed to be two-tone. That's cool either way. 2816. Is this number manager? I don't think so. No, it would be 28 if it was number manager. There's no numbers at all on this other one. Cool. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop it here. But at least we got a steam engine for next time. Yay. Maybe even run some passenger trains if luck is on my side. They're tricky though, to not derail. Alright. Yeah, I'll see you guys around. Hold on a second though, let me just make sure nobody's streaming first. Oh. Everyone. Escape. There. Oh my god, Super Great Friend is playing Escape from Bug Island. Oh. Sass. Oh, Spot's streaming. Derp. Okay, let's go over to Spots then. Namira the Sorcerer. Good friend of the stream. Good friend Mike Demonic stuff. Mike Regular. Good, I don't get to raid him too often. Flash raid. Not how to spell his name. N-I-M-I-R-H-A. I thought so. Alright, so thank you for coming, and stick around and go say hi to Spot. I'll see you guys around later. Bye.
This thing out and we bring it close to the middle here. Red Bear. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody. All of you may already know me, but it is me, Never, aka Spot, aka Taffer. I have many names and I am currently playing Dead Space, however. I don't know how good of an idea it is to be tossing this thing around. I specifically have to take care that it's not broken, but it will work out, yeah.
Communications array realigned. Messages can now be received.
That's it. It's working. Get back to communications and use the control panel to send our coordinates to the Valor.
The Valor. Okay, well, how do I do that? Do I just get out of here again? Guess so. Let me go ahead and take a drink since I feel like